I was watching a Peacock documentary about a TikTok star who murdered his wife and her friend that he was jealous of. The documentary told the story of a man named Ali, who went by Jin Kid on TikTok, who had nearly 1 million TikTok followers in 2021 when he brutally shot and killed his wife Anna, a woman from the Philippines.
Olurinatti joint.
Prior to killing Anna, though, he had verbally abused her openly on his social media, calling her all kinds of bitches and hoes, accusing her of cheating on him, and just generally being a cokehead nut. He'd actually be on Instagram and TikTok live doing coke, cursing his wife and mother of his 7-year-old daughter out like a dog. And beyond even what he'd do on IG and TikTok lives for all to see, he would also record his interactions with her in regular life for his own keeping, where he would position himself as the victim while berating her mercilessly, especially in regard to whether she was having sex with him enough, because he felt entitled to sex with her as his wife. And he also had come to the conclusion that there was, quote, no way a beautiful woman like her wasn't going without sex for a month. So if she wasn't having sex with him, she was cheating on him. Mind you, as the documentary exposes, it was actually Ali who was cheating on his wife and abusing her verbally and physically. And after years of abusing her and weaponizing the immigration system against her by threatening to have her deported and to take her child if she tried to leave him, she finally had enough.
About a month before Anna Abulaban's death.
I'll bring you to San Diego for what? So you can run to your friends?
Her husband, Ali Abulaban, known as Jin Kid online, posted this live video to TikTok.
You're not even an American citizen. I brought you to this goddamn country. Name one man that would do that for you.
In the video, Anna is calling 911 as Ali is live streaming this fight to his nearly 1 million followers.
Oh, great. You were on the phone with police while I said that? Wow. If I was petty, I would tell them that she beat me up too. And you know what? Goodbye to your little citizenship there, Miss Filipino.
Anna's friends took the stand Thursday, testifying that Ali had physically abused Anna. They saw her bruises.
When she left him, he tricked her and her daughter into moving back into their home, promising that he would move into a hotel, but instead, he copied a key, broke into the home and vandalized it, left a listening device on his daughter's iPad, and when he returned to his hotel to listen in on Anna, she and her friend Ray were in the living room attempting to clean up the mess he made when he vandalized the home before their daughter could return from school. But upon hearing the sound of a man's voice, he took his gun, drove over there, and shot them both repeatedly to death in their living room. And he recorded it. Prosecution really did not have to work hard to put this dumb, wicked in prison, because he'd recorded himself abusing Anna for years, and he recorded himself murdering her. They had proof on top of proof on top of proof, and he was recently found guilty of murder in the first degree.
Wish we never had a kid together because of how stupid you are. And I can't wait to divorce you so I can start my new life. You're gonna be sitting on the couch, drinking your tequila, sitting next to your gym rat boyfriend with tattoos who doesn't have the brain to hold the conversation, and you're gonna watch Netflix one day and you're gonna see my face on Netflix. Hey, isn't that your husband? And your daughter is my wife. So you're gonna see my face for the rest of your life.
And as you just heard, we cut the audio during the times that Ali Abulaban had been heard cursing during these audio messages. In court, you could see Ali Abulaban very uncomfortable as these played out in court. These audio messages, though, are just a small glimpse at what was played. In most of them, you could hear him cursing at Anna, trying to control her in some aspect, demanding to know where she was and who she was with, telling her that she is not single.
And as I was thinking about all the ways that I don't care about whether they throw this particular under the jail, it made me realize something incredibly important I have been forgetting to include in my discussions of abolition thus far, but it must be included. I discussed this in depth in my video, What is Abolition? And in other pieces I've written for places like Teen Vogue. But what I usually always say about abolition is that yes, abolition refers to the abolition of police and prisons, but it is a vision of tomorrow, a vision for the future. We know that they won't simply close all the courts and open all the prisons tomorrow, and that we don't have the infrastructure to do that tomorrow, but it's a process. We need to divest from police, courts, and prisons by choosing to pump money into the communities and addressing the root causes of crime, like poverty, unemployment, poor housing, starved school systems, mental health issues, instead of pumping money into criminalizing the most disenfranchised among us, because that doesn't actually do anything to stop or prevent crime. In fact, it exacerbates it. Abolition refers to a world in the future where we don't need to rely and invest on police and prisons because we've actually stamped crime out by addressing what actually causes crime. So that's what I usually say about abolition in short. But as I was thinking about this case of Ali, I thought about how this case serves as a good example of 1, why I'm an abolitionist, 2, what I mean when we say we don't yet have the infrastructure to make abolition possible, and 3, what we must do to make abolition possible. To the first point on why I'm an abolitionist. Being an abolitionist is not about feeling compassion for any and everybody. It doesn't mean I think nobody deserves to be in jail, because f this guy. It simply means that I don't think the American policing and prison system is meant to stop crime, nor do I think it does. And this case is still proof of that, because Ali abused Anna for years, not only just in front of hundreds of thousands of people on the internet, but to the awareness of the police. Anna called the police and reported Ali's abuse numerous times.
In early October, Anna called the police and reported that Ali had pushed her in front of their daughter, giving her minor injuries. She said that Ali had also shown their daughter a loaded gun and showed her how to hold it. In a video posted around the same time, an incensed Ali is seen hurling abuse at Anna, who is off camera. He accuses her of using him to get into America.
Taking away my whole life? I got a top secret clearance, you trying to it up? Bitch. Talk to me. Bring you to San Diego for what? So you can run to your friends? Bitch. You're not even an American citizen. I brought you to this goddamn country. Name one man that would do that shit for you, bitch. Asshole women, man. Ungrateful motherfucker.
Remember I told you, Ali was a nutjob wackadoodle who was recording his abuse of Anna and their private life. So the documentary literally features the recordings of him speaking to the police after Anna would call them to tell them how he's beat on her, how he's pulled out a gun and threatened to kill himself in front of her daughter, and not once did the police intervene. You can literally hear the footage of Ali playing on the police's biases. He tells them she's an immigrant and he brought her to America and this is how she repays him, and that she wants to leave and be with another man. Never mind the fact that she's telling the police he abused her, and he's not even denying it because they sympathize with him. Oh, poor man. You brought this immigrant woman to America and she doesn't worship you? Poor you. It's only you, the man, who knows what's best for your household. Who cares what abuse this woman is alleging? Of course you need to do what you need to do to protect your family.
I bring her to this country on a visa. She's Filipino, man. I did everything. We lived in Virginia. I worked for the government. My life was set. Same her friend here. She's got friends here that she grew up with. Her lifestyle's on that. I believe she called because she was trying to get me to leave.
So somebody has to be the bigger person. What we don't want to happen is she alleges that you hit her, we have to arrest you, and now you have a arrest.
Isn't that fucked up? It's a woman's world, man.
The police didn't help Anna, and they don't help Annas of the world every day because they're not designed to. They don't give a f. No matter what Law and Order and all the other propaganda designed to make you buy into the system has led you to believe. And that's not leftist propaganda, that's fact. In real life, the Supreme Court has said numerous times in numerous cases that the police have absolutely no duty to protect the public. In 2005, the Supreme Court ruled that the police had absolutely no duty to protect the public from harm. Not even a woman who literally had an order of protection that required the police to arrest her violent husband who'd had a history of violently abusing her should he violate it. In that case, in June of 1999, Jessica Gonzalez begged the Castle Rock police to find and arrest her husband, Simon Gonzalez, her estranged husband, who she had an order of protection against. He had violated it and kidnapped her 3 children and taken them to an amusement park in Denver. The Castle Rock police ignored her and refused to act until the man showed up at the police station hours later with her 3 children dead in the trunk. And the Supreme Court said that the police had done nothing wrong by refusing to act on the order of protection that required them to arrest him because the police have no constitutional duty to protect the public. So while I do not give a f about this wicked motherfucker going to jail, this case does not undercut why I'm an abolitionist. Because I'm an abolitionist because I know how and why the system does not stop Ali's or protect Anna's. That being said, this case is an illustration of my second point about abolition, and it's precisely what I realize I have not been verbally fleshing out enough in how I communicate about abolition to others. And that's what I mean when I say we don't yet have the infrastructure to make abolition possible. Whenever I talk about abolition and addressing the root causes of crime, up until now I focus focused on poverty and the way we financially underinvest in things that would help prevent and stop a lot of crime, like housing, education, mental health, and other resources. And that is true and can't be emphasized enough. But that's not all there is to it. Even if we threw all the money in the world at all of those things, if we do nothing to address the belief systems that breed violence in our societies and communities, we will not rid ourselves of violence. Our underlying beliefs and prejudices lead to and legitimize violence. Listen to how the police deferred to him as knowing what's best for his family. A wife has alleged this man is abusive, but once he can paint her as an immigrant he saved, an ungrateful woman, by bringing her to America, the American police ate that up because they share in this underlying belief that he has the right to control this woman, to control his family, that she should be grateful to him, that she shouldn't be able to just leave him. They feel for him, so they don't protect her. Even when she called the police and told them he has a gun and he's pulled it out in front of our daughter, he admits to it, but he tells them it's what she made him do. And they accept that because they believe in the underlying idea that this kind of behavior is justified if a woman brings a man to it.
Yeah, because he just tried to commit suicide. So that's what it is. He had a gun in his face with my daughter sleeping on the couch.
I have to do that just to get her to come home.
What's important about this murder and why it happened is what Ali believed. Beyond the cocaine use, beyond whatever mental health issues he may have, beyond whatever excuses he's made, what he fundamentally believed was that women were not equal to men, that a husband owns his wife, that it was a wife's job to serve her husband, to give him sex, to tolerate however he treated her, to never stray even if he did, that she had no right to leave him, which is the reason he could even make an argument like she was cheating on him after she had already left him. And it's those fundamental beliefs he had that made him feel entitled to kill her rather than allow her to live a life on her own, let alone with another man. And it's that belief he continued to emphasize even after she was dead.
Could anyone else have Anna? Could anyone else have Anna?
It's Ali's beliefs that formed the crux of his own defense and testimony in court. He was charged with first-degree murder, but his lawyer argued that he should only get manslaughter because their argument was that his wife, who had left him, mind you, who he cheated on and abused, these are documented facts that were evidenced in court by his own many recordings.
I am the best man you ever met, and you're the dumbest I ever devoted my life to. You are the dumbest. I wish we never had a kid together because of how stupid you are.
Audio messages Ali Bulaban sent his wife Anna in the days leading up to her death were full of name-calling, cuss words, and references to other women.
She sees the value in me, unlike your dumb. And I can't wait to divorce you.
Slapping.
Her friends?
Slapping Anna.
I would never do that in public. I never did that.
If there were times later in your relationships where you put your...
I have, yes, but I never did that in public.
Let me finish my question.
Sorry.
There were times later in your relationship where you put your hands on Anna, is that right?
Yes.
There were times that you punched her?
Yes.
But that his wife, who had left him and explicitly told him repeatedly that she did not wish to be with him anymore, was somehow culpable in her own death by having caused him to snap, by daring to be in the company of another man in her home, something he wouldn't even know had he not broken in, vandalized it, and planted a listening device. The only reason an attorney decides to make a sickening argument like this is the recognition that there are people who share some semblance of the underlying premise of that argument, which lies in a man's ownership over a woman, a wife, and those people might be on the jury. You have to on some level believe in that, to know that a man murdered his estranged wife and her male friend in cold blood, and to in any way find fault with her or to see it as a mitigating factor. It's those beliefs in the ownership and inferiority of women that leads men and others to justify or mitigate heinous violence against women. I want to remind you, this was a man with almost 1 million followers verbally abusing his wife on live for all to see, and was being supported by choruses of men who sympathized with him because all he had to do was accuse her of cheating or being a whore. Things that, by the way, were not true, but nonetheless, that's all it took. And that's what abolition will really require us to contend with. In order to stop or prevent crime, we have to address the root causes. And yes, poverty is one core component and beliefs are another. Men who see women as objects to be acquired and, more importantly, to be controlled will naturally come to the conclusion that they have the right to use whatever tools necessary to control them. And that will often include violence. And people will blame the victims, who they'll see as having required the men to use violence because they didn't act as everyone has come to believe women should. It's tempting to think Ali was just a monster who came into this world a monster and couldn't be changed. But these are the monsters our society creates. It's the violence, sexism, misogyny, and patriarchy breeds.
But also because when he finally felt like he was starting to fit in, he was constantly reminded how different he was. For example, spending the night at a friend's house, it was just completely out of the question. His father wanted Ali and his siblings to be raised in a more traditional Muslim culture, so he would constantly remind Ali of this, even going as far as saying, "You're Muslim, you're not American. I will not raise you to be American." So Ali said that because of this, it was very confusing, because he just didn't understand why he couldn't be like everyone else around him. And because of that, he ended up carrying a lot of shame. In fact, Ali described his entire childhood as emotionally, verbally, and even physically, all at the hands of his father.
Almost always, everything was an overreaction, in my opinion. Nothing was ever just a simple talking to. I mean, everything was just explosion, anger. Most of the time, I wouldn't know why he's mad at me or what exactly he's... But he would just grab whatever's nearby, throw it at me, strike me, vacuum cables, shoes, things like that. I had wanted my mother to purchase something for me, something that I really wanted. It was Star Wars related. I'm big into Star Wars, but he didn't like the fact that it was kind of childish in his mind. I think I was about 14, 15. His response to me pestering my mother to purchase this for me, I think it was a Darth Vader helmet that changes your voice, was to grab the vacuum cable and whip me repeatedly. And when I say whip, you could hear the, you could hear it. And that was the worst pain I've ever felt physically. I literally would beg him to stop, and he's asking me, "Why are you crying? Why are you crying?" as he's whipping me, you know.
When you teach men that women are not their equals, and you dehumanize women, you guarantee that those men will not extend those women the humanity they'd show themselves or each other, that they have no problem being violent and abusive towards them. It's a lot like the ease in which you step on an insect because it feels insignificant to you. When we talk about addressing the root causes of crime, while we often harp on poverty, the root causes don't end there. We have to question the systems and beliefs we've been taught to believe in that breed violence. We don't just come to live in a society where swaths of people experience sexual assault, harassment, rape, and violence. Men aren't just happening to commit these crimes, nor are they born monsters. Our society gives them the ideas and the tools that impose and reinforce patriarchy, patriarchal violence, misogynoir, and rape culture. And we have to deal with that in order to get to a place of abolition.